Hi, I'm Congressman Scott Perry. At the beginning of each week that Congress is in session, I send out a brief update about the bills the House of Representatives likely will consider. The bills are as follows: H.R. 3627, the Killa Davenport Child Protection Act of 2013, will ensure the state punishes child abusers who inflict serious injury with a minimum sentence of more than 10 years. States that do not meet the minimum sentencing requirements would lose the right to receive federal taxpayer money for child abuse prevention programs. H.R. 1447, the Death and Custody Reporting Act of 2013, which would require the United States Department of Justice to collect data from U.S. states and territories about the death of prisoners in their custody. States and territories would face monetary penalties for noncompliance. H.R. 3521, the Department of Veterans Affairs Major Medical Facility Lease Authorization Act of 2013, which would authorize the Department of Veterans Affairs major medical facility leases. H.R. 1402, the VA Expiring Authorities Extension Act of 2013, which extends the authority of the Department of Veterans Affairs to pay monthly assistance to disabled veterans. Senate 1471, the Alicia Dawn Cole Respect for National Cemeteries Act, which would give the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and the U.S. Department of the Army the authority to disinter veterans buried in national cemeteries who committed a federal or state capital crime. H.R. 3212, the Sean and David Goldman International Child Abduction Prevention and Return Act of 2013, which would order the State Department to make an annual report on the status of children taken from the U.S. and whether countries are meeting their obligations to return them. It would also have to designate officials to help parents and notify congressional representatives. It also says if the country where the child has been taken refuses to cooperate, the president must take steps such as denying future state visits or cultural and scientific exchanges or cutting various forms of U.S. aid. H.R. 1992, the Israel QME Enhancement Act, which protects Israel's military advantage over its Middle Eastern neighbors by requiring the president to submit a report on the status of weapons systems sold to countries in the Middle East every 2 years. H.R. 3509, Assessing Progress in Haiti Act of 2013, which requires new reports on U.S. earthquake aid to Haiti. H.R. 2019, the Gabriella Miller Kids First Research Act of 2013, which would redirect $126 million in taxpayer funds meant for presidential nominating conventions for pediatric research. The House will also possibly consider the following pieces of legislation: H.R. 2642, the Federal Agricultural Reform and Risk Management Act of 2013, the Farm Bill, which would extend the Farm Bill for 5 years while making some needed reforms to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. House Continuing Resolution 25, which would establish the budget for the United States government for fiscal year 2014 and setting forth appropriate budgetary levels for fiscal years 2015 through 2023. The House may also consider legislation related to the sustainable growth rate in Medicare. As always, if you have any questions or if I may be of assistance to you or your family in any way, please contact me at perry.house.gov. That's perry.house.gov. Again, this is Scott Perry, and I hope you have a fantastic week.